What? How, what?
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 What? Holy crap! What? What's happening there, Reject Nation? Greg and John here today. We're going to watch from new Rockstars Eternals post-credit scenes explained, major cameos, and mystery voice confirmed. I feel like it was pretty obvious who the mystery voice was that they're referring to. Obviously, I haven't seen Eternals. Please, if you don't want this spoiled for you, don't watch this video. And yeah, it was one of those post-credit scenes where I didn't fully comprehend everything. We were going to watch it a second time tonight. We're planning on doing a spoiler talk either on Sunday or Monday, so keep a look at on our YouTube community page when we deep dive into it. We're gonna see if I like the movie more the second time around,
And if I hate it this time and think it sucks.
Yeah. Either way, it's good to learn what new Rockstars has to say because we want to fully understand what's going on here.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and Marvel's Eternals post-credit scenes leave viewers with new highs and wait, what? That we haven't felt in years. The kind of twists that can only be truly appreciated by watching this movie in a theater. So before I explain what happened and the implications, spoiler warning, go watch the movie first, trust me. And again, another spoiler warning, double wrap in this one. Okay, top headline first, yes, Harry Styles is now in the MCU playing Thanos' brother, Eros, aka Starfox. The implications of his arrival are the real scoops here, and it's a less obvious cameo in the second post-credit scene that really blew this mind, and is sweeter than the sweetest watermelon sugar. So let's break it down. Okay, so Eternals ends with Cersei stopping the emergence of the sleeping celestial Tiamat, hatching out of our Earth and killing us all by boosting her transfiguration abilities with the
What happened to everyone on that bus?
transform Tiamat into marble stone. Icarus completes his mythological destiny and flies into the sun. Dina, Druig, and Makari depart Earth to look for other Eternals.
Yes.
Cersei turns Sprite into a human and decides to stay on Earth along with Kingo and Phastos. But then in the final scene, Erishim returns and zips Cersei, Phastos, and Kingo up into space and says, "You have chosen to sacrifice a celestial for the people of this planet. I will spare them, but your memories will determine if they are worthy to live, and I will return in judgment." And then they all disappear into a black hole, leaving Dane Whitman back on Earth alone.
I gotta say, I remember the first time watching that, as much as I was more on the side of the movie, you guys know where I'm at, but as much as I was in that camp, that ending moment was like, ooh, that's pretty scary.
Yeah, it's pretty chilling, right?
That's pretty scary, man.
Yeah. Score 1 for the Eternals.
Now the first post-credit scene picks up with the three in the Domo, who worry about their lost contact with their friends back on Earth, but then a little light glimmers in the corridor, and through this portal tumbles Pip the Troll, voiced by Patton Oswalt.
Wait a minute, Patton Oswalt?
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
How did I not know that?
That's his voice, and you can kind of catch the little facial features in that CGI that everyone's been dogging on.
Isn't he also MODOK?
Yes, he's the voice of MODOK.
Oh my
Dude,
goodness.
multiversal madness.
Patton Oswalt is songs.
And he's an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. There's multiple characters.
Hey, why don't you
There's-
hold on to that, John?
He announces, "Behold the royal prince of Titan, brother of Thanos, defeater of Black Robert." And then the guy goes, "Roger." He goes, "Oh right, defender of Black Roger, the great adventurer Starfox." And then Harry freaking Styles enters as Eros, aka Starfox, and says, "What a pleasure to make your acquaintance, my fellow Eternals. You know you really don't have to do the whole thing every time. I am Eros, this is Pip, and you are as beautiful as legend says, Thena. Your friends are in big trouble, and we know where to find them."
Harry Styles improvised that line. He's trying to sleep with Angelina
That
Jolie.
whole monologue.
And he will.
He will be the father to so many adopted children now.
And he reveals he has his own golden sphere to communicate with the Celestials, and he flashes a horny smile. Cue, foreigners. Feels like the first time. So Eros,
the reason's
aka
name is
Starfox,
Eros.
and Pip were both creations of Jim Starlin, the guy who
Starlin?
created Thanos.
Yep.
In Greek mythology, Eros is the god of love and sex. And in the Marvel comics, he can control the emotions of others. He's kind of a creeper, a total horn dog, which makes casting the super likable Harry Styles in this role just really works. Now, we should say at one point Eros was put on trial for sexual assault defended by She-Hulk. Don't count on that being in the MCU though. Really, the
Oh,
guy is
my.
an Eternal of the planet Titan and brother to the mad Titan Thanos, the second son of Alars. And if the MCU sticks to the genealogy from the comics, Alars was the brother to Zuras, Athena's father, making her and Eros first cousin. So maybe throttle back there, Eros. This is a family memories.
Screw it, it's Angela
The
Jolie.
troll is best known as Eros's companion in their
pass.
hedonistic lifestyle. I guess you'd kind of say like the rocket to a Star-Lord, but not exactly. Originally, Pip was a foil to Adam Warlock,
Yes.
who is also coming into the MCU soon. He was a species called a Laxidasian. He was actually a prince who mutates into this satyr-like troll, who ends up playing a pretty big role in the Infinity Gauntlet storyline
Yes,
alongside
yes.
Adam Warlock. By the way, Black Roger was a nemesis to Eros, a big goofball who attacked when Eros, his girlfriend Heater Delight, turned Roger down, and then Eros with Howlin' Wolf, yes, the famous
Yes.
wood singer, who in the comics Eros rescued from his deathbed and gave him wolf transformation powers. These guys all defeated Roger. Yeah, it's supposed to be crazy. It was the 70s.
I mean, if we thought Eternals was challenging formula, come on.
Let's adapt that. It was
Come
all
on.
the 70s comics.
Let's get horny ass Harry Styles and Pip
Horny
doing
Styles.
all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah, just me tooing people all over the MCU.
So Eros having this celestial beacon is just one example of Eternals from other planets in the MCU free from celestial control. And this might tell us that Thanos was acting either in accordance or in defiance to their celestial overlords. Actually, in this film, Ajax says
Interesting.
Thanos delayed the emergence on Earth, so maybe Thanos' plan to reduce all of life in the universe by half was actually his attempt to stop or delay celestial seeds from hatching and disrupt the celestial reproduction cycle. Thanos did nothing wrong! But it's also interesting how Eros doesn't seem to fear whatever celestial he is in touch with. So there may be other celestials out there who oppose Ereshkigal and may give Eros a chance to appeal to an even higher power in order to free Cersei, Kingo, and Phastos. So where did Ereshkigal take them? Well, it sounded like he planned to assess their legal right to claim Earth's worthiness based on their memories as kind of like a legal transcript. So yes, he could be taking them first to the World Forge that he showed Cersei in the vision where Eternal's memories of past lives are stored. But since he doesn't just, destroy them here, Ereshkigal may be bound by cosmic laws that are set by a higher authority. So I believe he could be taking them to the Court of the Living Tribunal, Marvel's ultimate judge, a character who was just teased in the penultimate episode of Loki. So wherever we see these characters next, maybe Thor Love and Thunder, maybe Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I suspect that we may be in store for a celestial trial before the Living Tribunal with Cersei as a defendant and Eros and Pip as surprise witnesses with their own celestial representative arguing on Cersei's behalf.
I gotta say, my mind did not jump to even a quarter of any of these conclusions. But the main thing out of all that, I would love to see the trial of the cosmos. That would be amazing to behold. It's something I've been wanting them to do, and I think having Ereshkigal, and especially that tease, definitely alludes to that. Especially with the idea of what Thanos was actually doing is to go against the Celestials, so that he was actually trying to do a good deed, because they do say that he prevented the emergence, is what's called.
Yeah, he delayed it.
He delayed the emergence. Why didn't they interfere when Thanos was doing all those things? And they could just do a whole thing to completely answer that right there.
The next movie will go in search of simply answering that one question.
Especially with how some people have walked away from this movie going, it feels like all those things with Thanos felt kind of inconsequential or insignificant in comparison to everything they're setting up here. Then you would find out that no, it was actually all tied in. That's clever.
Yeah.
If that is the route. And it seems likely, considering what Thanos' roots are in the comics and the fact that you have Starfox showing up in here now.
You thought these things were weird? I think it's about to get a lot weirder. Now, the second post-credit scene centers around Dane Whitman, who gets sidelined for most of the film, aside from Cersei giving him a ring from the Middle Ages that bears his family crest, the Raven emblem of the Black Knight, Sprite and Thena talking about the Ebony Blade and Excalibur, and references to Dane making peace with an uncle and that his family history is, quote, complicated. In the Marvel Comics, Dane Whitman is one of the heroes to carry the title of the Black Knight, a warrior with ancestral roots to Sir Percy of Scandia, a contemporary of King Arthur, and he's known for carrying the badass sword of the Ebony Blade. But now, in this scene, he opens a box marked with the Raven emblem from his ring, and on the inner lid is carved the Latin phrase Mors mihi lucrum, which Dane reads aloud, and it translates to, "Death is my reward." And then Dane works himself up to open this box, and inside is the Ebony Blade, which, as he touches it, has an organic weave that reaches out to greet his finger. So this isn't just a sword, it's like a living weapon in the vein of Excalibur, or maybe the sword carried by Gore the God Butcher, Christian Bale's character in the upcoming Thor 4, Thor Love and Thunder, which in the comics was the same weapon that beheaded the Celestial Nowhere. Perhaps in the MCU, the Ebony Blade has the same kind of lethality to Celestials.
That'd be cool.
And
Head's
Cersei
floating out
even
there.
more hope for being rescued. But then, my favorite part of this, we hear this voice behind Dane. Are you sure you're ready for that, Mr. Whitman? Now, my first thought was that this was Jeffrey Wright, the voice of Uatu the Watcher in What If, who
Isn't
does
he?
love to suddenly drop in on Heroes as a voice from nowhere, just like this.
I have a feeling it's not gonna be now.
Missions, and I think the Black Knight would make a pretty good candidate for Battleworld in Avengers 5 Secret Wars, but listening to it more closely, I realized this is totally the voice of Mahershala Ali, confirmed as Blade in the MCU back at Comic-Con 2019 when Kevin Feige first introduced the Eternals cast. Fandom's Eric Goldman reports a quote from Chloe Zhao and from Kit Harington confirming that it is indeed Mahershala Ali Blade in this.
Holy crap! What? Oh my god!
I've been sitting here for days being like, why do people think it's Mahershala Ali? It's clearly Jeffrey Wright. It's the only thing that would make sense.
Oh, whoa! That is so surprising.
Damn it.
I saw some people that were saying, yeah, Mahershala Ali, and I'm like, I don't think so, guys.
Yeah, guys, calm down.
And
right?
when we were in the premiere, when that scene came up, there was a big group of people all discussing who that was. Some thought it was Samuel L. Jackson. We laughed and pointed and said, get the hell out of here.
Idiots.
And then the common consensus that everyone had was, well, what if just ended? And that's Jeffrey Wright, right? It sounds like Jeffrey Wright. It's probably Jeffrey Wright. I thought that was a no-brainer. And then here we got Chloe Zhao coming out here and going, yeah, it's Blade. Blade. Yeah, it's Blade.
Here I am thinking Jeffrey Wright has such a distinct voice. And now I'm like, well, I guess he must sound just like Mahershala Ali. Better brush up on what he sounds like.
Holy shit. That is shocking. I don't know why I'm so surprised.
Are wrong.
We are wrong.
We have been proven wrong.
Theater mistaking a whole bunch of different black voices the whole time.
I know we're racist.
All of us are racist. That's what happened at the premiere. Everyone accusing those Rotten Tomatoes critics are right.
That's right. Critics are a whole different mind of people, and they're also racist.
So Blade and Dane Whitman were both on a team called MI13, a British agency set up to deal with paranormal threats. On this team, Whitman realized that he was actually wielding a fake ebony blade that was forged by Dracula, Blade's nemesis.
Yeah.
And Whitman's time on MI13 is actually set during Secret Invasion. He uses this weapon to slaughter Skrulls and Super Skrulls. Now, vampires were teased earlier in Eternals by Kingo.
Actually, when we first met, he thought I was a vampire, and he tried to stake me through the heart.
We should also point out that it looked like Skrulls came up during Ereshim's revelation of all the truths to Cersei. But a bit of background on Blade.
Teasing
Blade
Loki,
was born
too.
to a mother who was bitten by a vampire mid-delivery, making him born half human and half vampire, giving him vampiric qualities, and he begins vampire hunting foes like Dracula, Deacon Frost, and then gets bitten by our buddy Morbius. Big week for him. A bite that gave Blade all the classic strengths of vampires, but none of the weaknesses, and he goes by the alias of Daywalker.
Whoa.
So now it seems like Dane's next appearance in the MCU could be in the
Dane
Blade
Walker.
film. No release date announced yet, but potentially November 2023, or maybe even sooner, like in Secret Invasion on Disney Plus. And it could be
I'm so shocked.
Why not?
Doesn't think Dane is ready for
At this point, I'm
sword.
just gonna
It
say
could
it's
be
all of
that
it.
it's not actually his family sword, the mythic ebony blade, but an imposter placed there by a vampire. Thus the meaning of that Latin phrase, "Death is my reward," fitting for an immortal bloodsucker long hunted by the church since the Middle Ages. Now, like Dane, I was hoping for a weapon more useful in slaying a celestial, as that organic texture on the weapon reminded me a lot of All Black the Necro sword, but it may just be that Marvel is sticking to merely one direction in saving Cersei. I'm sorry. And back on Earth, teaming up two black blades to slice up some vampires or Skrulls, whatever death is more rewarding.
I do like the idea of this is the way that you're reintroducing Blade at a bigger part of the universe that's more than just, yeah, he's been walking around New York killing vampires this whole time.
Yeah. Like have him come in at what seems like maybe a pivotal moment for a different character, and maybe that being the launching point for a whole other relationship we're about to see. Like, that could be cool. Yeah.
Especially like when you think about how Spider-Man had a bunch of standalone movies of being in New York, and then this was like, here's what it would be if Spider-Man was in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I like the approach of doing that with Blade on his first outing of this is what Blade would be like in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as opposed to just rebooting a standalone killing vampires in New York.
Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EABoss.
Do
Follow
it.
New Rockstars and subscribe for breakdowns of everything you love. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Wow, I've never been more wrong about anything in my whole life. Oh, so many of us were convinced, especially because we had just finished What If. They're like, oh, they're finally tying into the Disney Plus shows.
Hey, first time. All right.
We didn't even need to admit we were wrong. We never
we had
publicly
the
said it
whole-
was The Witcher. Yeah.
No, we could have pretended the whole time like we called it.
Yeah, knew it. Yeah.
We decided to maintain integrity for you guys.
All right, guys. Well, leave your thoughts down below. Subscribe, click that bell. Keep a lookout for our Eternal spoiler talk. And hey, let's do a Now, if there's anyone on our Patreon page who could be someone who hunts vampires, it's easily gotta be Deontay W. Tongue Punch Fartbox.
Absolutely.
What he would do is he would eat so much garlic, just consume so much garlic, and then he would fart, not uncontrollably, into a box. Conceal the garlic scent in there. When he goes and attacks vampires, he opens the box. Garlic spread, kills them all. Little Jesus Christ crucifixes pierce through the veil of the garlic, latching onto themselves, filled with silver, because his butthole can handle quite a lot. You disgusting pig, you. And that's why I love that you've been part of our Patreon page for so long. You've never changed your name, always leading for amazing imaginative scenarios of what to do with tongue punch fart boxing. Keep a lookout next month where we tie it in to the next Lightyear trailer.
Tongue buzz fart box.